it's Sunday morning and I've just released my Formulation for Beginners course. Quite excited about that. It's taken me like 6 months to make that, so I'm really relieved, I think is the word, to get that out in the world, and hopefully it helps a lot of you. If you do want to have a look at what's in that, then there is a link below in the description. Right now, I'm going to make myself a nice veggie breakfast and just kind of do Sunday things because I need a rest. And then I think either later today or tomorrow, I'm going to test out some fragrances in some soap. So you can come along with me for that and see if the ones that I want actually work. I also ordered a soap cutter, finally. The one I had was just like, it was effort. So I found this seller on Etsy and they'll do them any size you like. It's really cool. It's so well made. I'll link them below. I'm not an affiliate for them or anything, but it's beautifully made. It was so fast delivered. I think it came from Croatia. So thank you to that Etsy seller. It's absolutely brilliant. I've done it specifically for the thickness I want my soaps to be when I release my new products. Yeah, it comes with a bonus that it sounds like this. Endless entertainment. Anyway, so it's actually the next day now, and I had a rest because I realised that today what I've got to do is sign up to Crafty Base and then input all of my lovely inventory, every single thing and the weight and everything. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm not going to film that because that's going to be very, very boring. What I am going to show you is the delivery I just got, and then tomorrow we'll skip to the fragrance testing in soap. But first, yeah, let's go look what I just had delivered. Okay, I'm doing a voiceover for this. I don't know how many times I've done this now. The information keeps changing and I have a headache. Basically I ordered the National Shrinkwrap system from Canada. It's really good. They're a brilliant company. Highly recommend. I'm not an affiliate. Their customer service has been fantastic. They do a shrink wrap system and they offer Biolefin, which is a biodegradable film. Now, since receiving this, there's been some confusion about it because a manufacturer or two, or even three actually, in the UK told me that Biolefin is oxo biodegradable plastic and that is banned in the UK. This led me down a massive rabbit hole because I see lots of people in the UK and EU using it, so that didn't seem right to me. I read lots of contradictory blogs. No one seemed to be able to settle on an answer. So having reverted to trading standards and to the National Shrinkwrap Company, the following is correct. Basically, there are two types of oxo film. One is called oxo biodegradable and one is called oxo degradable. Now, the trouble is, everyone, including the actual directive that are in the process of banning certain plastics, have confused the two. So I'm going to read you what the National Shrinkwrap Company and Trading Standards have said to me, and that is the information. Basically, the way Biolefin works is that an additive from Revert by Wells plastic that is added to the film makes it biodegradable. They have given a statement saying, Revert is not banned in the UK, but in general, oxo-degradable plastics are banned in the EU under the Single-Use Plastics Directive. However, There is still an ongoing legal case where the EU's directive on oxo-degradable plastics failed to make it clear that it does not apply to oxo-biodegradable plastics. Revert is an oxo-biodegradable additive master batch that complies to some certification that they've listed here, where it has been proven that the film/bags containing Revert do indeed degrade and eventually biodegrade into water, CO2 and biomass. Revert is definitely not oxo-degradable. You can still use Revert in shrink film sold around the UK without any issue. So basically, one is degradable and one is biodegradable. The Biolefin is biodegradable and, so far as we know, is still okay to use in the UK. Phew. So that took me ages to find out, but anyway, I'll give you a demo of that working, and I'll also provide some more information in a blog that goes with this this video, if you want to know more about that anyway, because I do always want to use the most environmentally friendly option that makes sense for my products. Anyway, I'm going to get on with putting stuff on Crafty Base and then we will get on to the soap. Sorry if you hear random background noise, it's chucking it down with rain outside. Anyway, I'm going to start off with weighing all of my oils and butters and melting those down. This beaker was way too small, so yeah, you'll see what I do. Because I'm testing fragrances, I'm just using a basic recipe, so I'm using castor oil and olive oil and cocoa butter, palm oil and coconut oil. Sounds a lot, but I like the combo in the measurements that I do, which I'm not going to show you yet because this is likely going to be a recipe for my own. Anyway, yeah, I'm putting all of those in. I'm not going to colour these soaps, mostly because this is a test, so I want to see if there's any discoloration and how light or how dark just plain soap butter goes. So literally no mica, no kaolin, nothing. It's just the basic soap mix and the fragrance, and that is it. And now I transfer to a heat-proof bowl because I realised, yeah, that doesn't fit in the beaker. I'm using a spatula to make sure I get every last trace of oil out of this beaker, because obviously my measurements for the lye and the oils just need to be accurate. Anyway, I'm going to do that and pop that in a water bath and just heat that through until it's thoroughly melted. And then I'll take that off the heat and take the temperature, and we need to let that cool down a little bit. And while I do that, I'm going to mix up my lye solution. Make sure you're wearing gloves and long sleeves, and you have a well ventilated room, and preferably a respirator, because you don't want to breathe the lye fumes in as you're mixing it. Obviously I'm not doing this outside because it's chucking it down with rain. So I sped that up a bit because I'm very accurate with the lye and the water, and the oils in fact, because this is a chemical process, so you want to make sure it is accurate, although I do have a super fat in there, just to be sure. I use water straight out of the fridge to do this. You can also use water out the freezer, just because it helps to cool down the lye a little bit when it mixes, because it does generate a lot of heat. Don't stand directly above it, and make sure you don't splash any because it is very hot, and obviously it's caustic, so you need to be really careful. When you've dissolved that, just put that to the side, and you want to let them cool down. Now, if you're using just oils, liquid oils, it doesn't really matter what temperature that you soap at. But if you're using a lot of solid oils like I did, then you'll want to be soaping at around 40 to 50 degrees and make sure that both are within sort of 10 degrees of each other, to make sure that you don't accelerate your soap making process too much. While those cool down, I'm going to prepare all of my fragrance oils. I've got these little jars, and I'm just basically doing a 3% or less, depending on what the IFRA says, inclusion for all my little soap samples. And here they are, and what I've done is I've numbered them all, and then each number relates to a different fragrance, which I'm not telling you because they will or will not be part of my range later, so I'm keeping them secret for now, sorry. But yeah, they'll match up to here as long as I pour them in the right little divot, and then yeah, I'll know which one is which. It's good to be prepared when you do these. I was really ambitious with this and had 18 different fragrances. It was a bit too many, but you'll see. I was running out of time to get this done, so I've done what you shouldn't do, and I've soaped just a little bit hot. This was, I think the lye was nearing 60 degrees or something. Yeah, and it did accelerate the batter a little bit, but yeah, so I was in a bit of a panic once I started adding the fragrance oils. But what you want to do here is pour your lye into your oils, and then use your stick blender to create trace. Trace is basically your emulsion, and you want to just stick blend it until basically when you lift the stick blender out of the soap batter, you don't see it separating. Now, because I'm going to be mixing things and working with this a bit longer, what I did here was just get it to light trace. However, obviously, because I'd soaped a bit high in temperature wise, it did accelerate anyway, so meh. But yeah, just sort of get it to a light trace, and then you can start separating it out. The best thing to do would be if you had enough containers ready to match your amount of fragrance oils and poured the amount in each one ready, but I didn't, so I had to do it one at a time in the same jug, which again also slowed me down. So this first one is the one that I really want to work, but I had heard that it rices, and true to form, there it is. I think had I had a lighter trace and I stick blended for longer, I may have managed to overcome this, as it didn't exactly accelerate, it just riced, so I might give it a go. Another batch on its own another time. This second one looked really promising, but you'll see later as it starts to set, I'm not sure. Same with these, even though the batter was getting thicker, the addition of the fragrance oil actually thinned them out a little bit, enough to use, so that made it a bit easier. You see number 2 there, it's gone dark. This is probably where it's heating up and reaching gel phase. It may or may not go uneven, I don't know. I'll have to wait to the end. I'm speeding this up for you because it was a bit boring and I was panicking because it was just getting harder and harder and harder as I was working with it. Then I reached a point where I figured I'm not going to get all of them before it's rock hard, so I basically did as many as I could, and then this number 14 is a combination of basically all the scrapings of all the different fragrance oils mixed together, because I thought, you know, why not? And then those 3 I didn't get to do, so there's 3 fragrances I haven't tested. I'll do them separately. The darkness is kind of gone, so it may have gelled evenly, but I'll have to wait until I can turn them out tomorrow to see. So I'll cut to tomorrow and we'll slice them in half and see what they're like. So it's the next day, we're just popping out for a quick breakfast, and then I'll check on the soaps and see how they're doing. So come with us for now, and yeah, see you back at home. Okay, so here's the soap batch from yesterday. It's been 24 hours. I've cut them in half so we can see the inside. And let's have a look at this one first. It's like quite badly discoloured. Inside, it's kind of okay, but for the scent I use, the discoloration just isn't going to work, and I don't think I'm going to be able to cover that up, so I'll probably give that a miss. This one was an essential oil blend. It looks a bit uneven, but that was my mixing because it was accelerating quite badly on me yesterday. But it smells good, so I'm quite pleased with that one. This one was more of a seasonal one. Quite a lot of discoloration. You can see where I didn't mix the fragrance oil in properly because it had properly accelerated by now. So yeah, it's not mixed in very well, but yeah, that will discolour a bit, but might possibly work with the scent. Nothing really accelerated on me yesterday, which is good, because the batter was accelerating anyway, but it didn't make it any worse. Then number 7, that was quite a decent one. Number 11, it's quite a decent one. This one, discoloured, but sort of almost a pinky purple, which I don't mind, so I have to check what scent that was. This one again was pretty well behaved. That one the same. This one discoloured to a very orangey yellow, which isn't too bad. Again, I'll have to check the scent, because if it goes with the scent and it can be coloured over, then that's fine. This one, again, discoloured a little bit, not brilliantly mixed either. That one, this one worked, but it doesn't smell of anything. The scent didn't carry through at all, so I have to give that one a miss. This one, that one worked. This one worked, but there is a bit of soda ash with this one, so depends when I colour it how bad that would look. It's only cosmetic, but the rest of it seems okay. It does smell good though. Number 2, this is one of the ones that I really wanted to work, and it went really dark on top. I think it reached gel phase really quickly, and it has sort of worked. There's a few little speckles in it, but it's again cosmetic. I think it might get away with that one because it smells really good. This was the one that riced, you remember, and it's actually discoloured pink, which for what I'm using it for works really well, so I don't mind that. But you can see got all the ricing in there. It's not the worst I've seen, but yeah, I'll have to have a think about it. So yeah, mostly okay. I'm going to make some notes and then try my favourites out as a proper batch with some colour. Yeah, and I think I'm going to leave the vlog there because I've rambled on too much about soap and other random things. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're watching this far. I really do appreciate every single one of you. We're nearly at 3k, which is so exciting, so thank you so much for that. And also I do have an Instagram if you want to follow me over there. I post pretty much what I'm doing each day and little sneak peeks of formulas that are coming. And then as well as that, as you know, I've got my formulation for beginners course, which is linked down below, and I've also got my Patreon, where there's 2 exclusive formulas for patrons every month, along with lots of historical content and blog posts that you can binge watch, and that's from about £4 a month, so that's really handy for people. And there's also a mentoring tier. So I'll see you next week.